Hey everyone, I don't know about you, but this first week of classes was crazy. I'll post an introduction to myself a little later this weekend, but so you know, I'm actually a full-time faculty member. Actually, I do a lot of administrative work down at the University of Arizona, so working with you all at Glendale is a little moonlighting for me. So thank you for those of you who have been working all week on due date number one. You'll see when you hit the home page and scroll down a little bit, all of the work now for due date number two is posted, as well as the major kind of steps for project number one. Uh, do not fret or do not think that there's no more work due for due dates 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There is, they're just not filled in yet. But due date number two is ready to go. I want to kind of introduce you to some of the content you're going to be reading and what you're going to be doing and give you an overarching view of the course. So for this course, this is the first assignment you have is to read this. For this overall course, you're going to focus on a community you're all either already a member of or a community of which you'd like to be member. So imagine that you want to be a nurse and a pediatric nurse, so you want to be a member of a hospital's pediatrics community. Um, so you're going to focus on a community, and then you're going to focus on the literacy or the discourse practices of that community. So it's not just that you're going to learn what that community does, but specifically you're going to learn about and research how that community communicates, what they do with those communications, how those communications work. That will be your entire project for this course. So basically, project number one, a genre analysis, you're going to pick your community and you're going to um, observe them and identify a genre, and that's a type of writing which they use regularly to get work done. So for again, if we go with the nursing example, a genre that they're known for doing is just almost like observation reports that they, do updates on when they visit a patient, some type of patient report. And of course, I'm not a nurse, so I don't know the exact name of that genre, but that's kind of part of the point. When you're a member of that discourse community, you understand what the genres are. And an outsider like myself, I am not a nurse, I don't know what they are. So that's why you'll be researching them. So the first project will be a genre analysis. The second project, the discourse community profile, is a genre that where you, after having researched something, a person, place, thing, group, you then kind of write a report on them. So you're going to write a report about the discourse or literacy practices of this community that you've researched. And then project number three is going to be a profile remix. So you're going to take the same information and you're going to remix it into some type of different delivery mechanism. So it'll still be a profile, but project two is an essay. Project three, you can make a video, a website, an infographic. You'll be producing it in some other um, delivery mechanism, like I said. Okay, so that's the overarching uh, process of 101, what you'll be doing over the next 15 weeks. Now, as I was tinkering this out and I was specifically writing the assignment prompt for project number one, I realized I needed to shuffle due dates already a little bit. Basically, everything got pushed down by one. So I made the changes in the syllabus as track changes so you could easily see them. Um, but yeah, everything got pushed down. So I want to kind of go back to this discourse community and give you a running example. So I just kind of talked through the nursing example. I'm going to talk through an example that I have. So I grew up going to dog shows. My family raises, breeds, shows St. Bernards. And so for me, literacy practices in that community, like I look at these pictures of ribbons, dog show wins, I know what they mean. I know what the different colors signify, that, the purple is winner's dog or winner's bitch. The blue is first in class of some kind. These big rosette ribbons are usually group ribbons. That the green and the yellow are significant because they're not regular classes. The blue and the white ones here in the middle are usually reserve winner's dog. Um, all that to say is I understand this literacy. I can look at these. Yeah, over here on the right, the purple and the yellow, those are best of breed. I can look at these and I have a sense of what, if this is a display board of a particular dog, what that dog has won at dog shows. I know that literacy. Now, Horse shows have similar, and cat shows have similar um, ribbons that look the same, but I don't know what the colors signify because I'm not a member of the horse show or the cat show community. Actually, I'm not an active member of dog show community anymore either, but because I grew up in it, I know these literacies. These ribbons signify something. However, I just want to also say that there are, genres being a type of writing that is repeated and does certain work. So a popular genre in the dog world is the entry form for a dog show, and this kind of makes sense. It might also any type of entry form where you have to explain, who it is entering, the information about them, what type of how you want them to compete. And so this particular genre, again, I know really well and what it all means and how to fill it out. Whereas if you're not a dog person or active dog show person, you might look at some of these categories and go like, well, I don't know what dog show class means or class division means. And again, that's kind of the point of being a member of a discourse community. You understand the genres that circulate and the type of work that they do. I'm also a teacher, so I'm very familiar with lesson plans as a genre. And, if you just Google lesson plan and look at images, you can see a bunch, although I teach online now, so my lesson plans look different. But I also do teach face to face, and so I have lesson plans, usually nothing quite that complex, but I do have them. I'm also a researcher. I'm an active member in my, college English folks. So NCTE is the National Council of Teachers of English, and it has journals. But because I'm active in the college section, these journals down here at the bottom, I know kind of what the topics are associated with each of those journals. They all write in slightly different ways. The type of information they're conveying, what's considered appropriate for that journal is all slightly different. And again, because I'm a member of this discourse community, I know those distinctions. It's part of um, what I learned as I worked on and finished my PhD. So again, project one, what you all will be working on is this genre analysis. And project one is broken into multiple parts. So the actual essay is only 50% of the overall project grade. Um, you will be doing an observation report. Again, you'll be observing this community. Your genre analysis will be broken into stages that will help you complete it. And then you'll also be responsible for interviewing someone in the community. And the reason the interview is later is because the idea is that you should be starting or even have completed your genre analysis, these steps, these stages of your genre analysis. So when you go talk to someone in the community, you can ask them for information about the genre and how it works, instead of you just trying to have to figure that out on your own. So I think, well, let's quickly go back and what's due this week. Okay, so this week you'll read the course projects overview, which I showed you briefly. You're going to sign the syllabus contract thing. It's just basically saying, hey, I read the syllabus. You're going to read and comment upon project number one. That's assignment prompt. That's the one I just looked at. However, this assignment, you'll notice here, you also have to do some other readings about discourse community and about doing primary research. And the assignment requires that you connect something from one of these readings to the assignment prompt. So again, you're not only reading the assignment prompt, but you're actually doing the work of reading about discourse communities and about primary research and making connections. Let's see what else. Identify literacies. This particular, it's a discussion activity. You're going to look at a set of Google Slides that have a bunch of examples of different literate practices and take a guess of what they are and what they mean, and then talk about that with your classmates. And then finally, let's get back here. The last homework you'll do, and this is going to take some time, folks, this last one. You're going to start exploring and identifying what community you want to focus on for the entire course. So for this, I'm specifically asking that you explore 3 different communities. The prompt here talks about ways that I want you to think about them, and kind of write about them. You are then also responsible for going and reading and replying to at least three of your classmates. So three is the magic number on this assignment. And please note that I'm specifically saying you have to do very specific work on these replies. You have to ask your classmates questions. I'm going to be looking that you ask them questions. And then at the end of the reply to them, you specifically, of the three communities they posted, you have to briefly go, hey, of the three, this is the one I think you should do because I think it's interesting for this reason. Okay, a lot of work this week, but I'm excited. By the end of the week, you should have an idea of what community you're going to focus on, and you'll notice on that where you might observe them and who you might talk to, because observations will be due the following week. Everyone, have a good weekend, have a good week, and I will talk to you more as we keep doing the class.